time to get into the school of necromancy. So, phone time. So, this is a picture of like stuff from friend that sent me some information on how to, in a sense, redo the school of necromancy. So, this one's revived. So, I'll pretty much go right down the list and everything. So, the school of necromancy explores the cosmic forces of life, death, and undeath. As you focus your studies in this tradition, you learn to manipulate the energy that animates all living things. As you progress, you learn to sap the life force from a creature as your magic destroys its body, transforming that vital energy into magical power you can manipulate. Most people see necromancers as menacing or evil, even villainous due to the close association with death. Not all necromancers are evil, but the forces they manipulate are considered taboo by many societies. So now we got an expanded spell list. So for cantrips, we got the Chill Touch and Toil the Dead and Toll the Dead. Third level, Ray of Enfeeblement, Misty Step. Fifth level, Animate Dead, Bestow Curse. Seventh level, Blight, Death Ward, and ninth level, we got Contagion and Raise Death. So subclass features, Necromancy's Savant, second level Necromancy features. So we're now getting into another subclass. Same as base, so half time gold to copy necromancy spells. So the Grim Harvest. You can draw life from those you slay with magic. When you kill a hostile creature with a spell of first level or higher, you can use this feature to regain hit points equal to twice your wizard level plus the spell's level. So for instance, like it would be like level 1 for twice your wizard level, so there's 2 plus the spell's level, so it would be like 3 at the beginning. So you can use this feature a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. So like basically at first level with the proficiency bonus of 2, you'd be able to use it twice before having to get a long rest. So now additionally at higher levels, so 6th level, instead of regaining hit points yourself, you can choose a creature you can see within 30 feet to regain hit points you would have gained. So in a sense, now you've become like in a sense a backup cleric. So at 10th level, when you use this feature, you can choose up to 2 creatures within 30 feet, including yourself. If you do, the total amount of healing is divided evenly, rounded down between them. So if, for instance, you had like 3 targets, you round down to 2, or that kind of concept and everything. So last breath. As an action, you exhale a cloud of bone ash that forms into a skeletal or zombified wolf. This creature is considered an undead creature and obeys your commands. The creature lasts for 10 minutes until it is reduced to 0 hit points or until you dismiss it. No action required. It acts immediately after your turn in initiative. It uses the wolf stat blocks from the 2014 Monster Manual with a couple of changes. All attacks now do necrotic damage, and it is now immune to poison damage and the poison condition. So, with being based off like the 2014 versions, with the 2024 books coming out and everything, you can kind of adapt it slightly. But like I'm sure you could use either or, so it might be just easier to use like the 2014 versions to start off with. So now, Thralls of the Undead, 6th level necromancy feature. So when you cast Animate Dead or another necromancy spell that creates undead, you can animate or create 2 additional undead creatures. You can control up to a maximum number of undead equal to your proficiency bonus plus your intelligence modifier, so minimum of 5. So your controlled undead gain the following benefits while under your control. They add your proficiency bonus to their attack rolls and damage rolls. They gain additional hit points equal to twice your wizard level. At 10th level, they also gain a +2 bonus to AC and deal an extra 1d6 necrotic damage with melee weapon attacks. So Undeath's Touch, 10th level necromancer feat. So your body takes on traits of undeath. You gain resistance to poison and necrotic damage. Your hit point maximum can't be reduced. Additionally, you have advantage on saving throws against being poisoned, diseased, or frightened. Also, when you drop to 0 hit points, you can choose to drop to 1 hit point instead. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. So, command the undead, 14th level necromancer feat. So, when you cast a necromancy spell that creates or targets undead creatures you control, you can create, summon, or target up to twice the normal number of undead, up to a maximum equal to your proficiency bonus. Additionally, as a bonus action, you can issue a single verbal command to any undead you control within 60 feet. This command lasts for 1 minute or until you issue a new one. While under this command, the undead attempt to carry out your instructions to the best of their ability on their turns. So to finish it off, it's Necromancer's Sacrifice, which is the 18th level Necromancer feature. So as a reaction, when you would be reduced to 0 hit points, you can sacrifice one undead creature you control within 30 feet. This creature is instantly destroyed, and you can instead drop to 1 hit point instead. So, when the creature is destroyed in this way, it explodes in a burst of necrotic energy. Each creature of your choice within 10 feet of it must make a Constitution saving throw against your spell save DC, taking necrotic damage equal to 2 times the creature's CR or a failed save, or half as much on a success. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. So that's pretty much the School of Necromancy revised. So, kind of like a showcase good old necromancer again. So this is another thing from by Dungeon Dan Tradick and one of his friends, Kevin Billins. So I'm kind of like showcasing a lot of stuff like in these subclass videos from my friend, good old Dungeon Dan Tradick. So I'm going to mention again, uh, get into like the Facebook group of like Order of Desolation. So that's where one of the Facebook groups that you can get into to kind of like further get into stuff that like I share here as well. So now this is like kind of like I'm going to call like the subclass series where I get into stuff like this, where like for instance going over like the subclasses here, like we going over the School of Necromancy revised subclass for the wizard. So now of course there are other subclasses based that you could use based off the School of Necromancy. So there are different schools like the Conjuration, Abjuration, and like Alteration and stuff like that. So in essence, you could make a subclass for each school of magic and everything. So this just kind of highlights the School of Necromancy. So now, like I mentioned, it did use the 2014 rules and everything. So with the new 2024 books coming out with the core rule books, it's kind of like in essence like harken back to like a third edition and then 3.5. So 2024 is kind of like 5.5. So with this using like the 2014 rules, they're still valid and everything. So, but if you're of the person that, or the mind that you want to, oh hey look, I want to use the most updated rules and everything, you would have to make maybe some minor tweaks and everything, because like with the new versions, they're kind of updated the rules and everything. It's going to take a little legwork and everything, but not too much. But again, you can, like I said, still use the 2014 versions because they're still valid and everything. They're just as good. So it's just like I mentioned, a third edition and 3.5. You could use those interchangeably as well. So this is just like the kind of like continuation of the subclasses that I go over from my friend good old Dungeon Dan Craddock. And again, get into the Facebook groups and you can get into more content and everything. So I always will mention the Order of Desolation. That's just one of the Facebook groups that you can get into, where you can actually start engaging in like, hey look, ask questions. Look, I have like this new campaign I'm running. Well, I'm the DM. What kind of adventure do I want to run, or like what's the best adventure to run? You can ask questions like that, or as a player, hey, look, I've played mainly melee characters like barbarians and fighters. I want to start playing spellcasters like a wizard or something. Yeah, here's something that you can use to kind of like do that. And that's the great thing about Facebook groups is you can ask questions like that and find stuff like this in there. So here is the good old school of necromancy subclass. So become a necromancer and learn about life and death.